Literally. Alright, y'all, trying to make y'all mad. I want to upset some people. Aburuger. B tier. He's fine. I think he's a cool fight. But I think he suffers from just being an lizard. The Akuras are in C tier. I don't find them particularly interesting. I don't find them particularly dangerous. I just find them like sponges. They're hit point sponges. And Aropatisu. A tier. I actually really like his fight, especially on ranged weapons. I think he's really fun. I'm a big fan. Silver and gold fish. Hang on, let me edit this. Hang on. Let me make this work. Hang on. I'm already mad. Twitter.com. At A is a great fight. S. Alright, Bruguru. He's an A for me. I really enjoy him. I think he's a little too bulky, but that's it. For sheer spectacle, I gotta give Ravi an S. For just sheer spectacle factor, right? I think he became such a legendary Mon because of his scale. I think it's something you really need to give him credit for. Berugirosu is in C tier for me. I think he's fine, but the fact he's in the air constantly means that melee weapons are going to struggle with him. I think he really benefits from extreme style. I think his early fights just don't do him justice. IMO. So I think he really struggles because in early ranks he's really rough. Boga. I'm putting him in high A. It's a great first pack. I think Baruger really works both Zenith and otherwise. It was a really good fight. I really enjoy him. Boga I put in A. I think he's the most one-to-one duel out of most Zeniths. I think he really shines in that respect, and I gotta give him massive credit for that. But I do think him being constantly AoEs, I have to knock him down for not having many direct single-target attacks. So I don't know what you do with some monster that size, so not S tier, but very, very high A tier, borderline S tier, in my opinion, for Boga. I love that fight. Bright Hypnoc. It's fine. It's a bird. It's just a fucking bird. I don't know. Here's a controversy. This one's gonna be interesting. Wildlife F tier. Dio. Okay. I am only putting Dio Rex in F tier based on his current balance. If you were to make him not flinch chain, I think he'd be an S tier. His sleep is annoying, but Bright Hypnoc just kind of is a bird. It's an bird, right? But if you fix Dio's balance, S tier, poke, S tier. Fantastic fight. current balance, he needs too many changes to make him viable as a cool fight. Right, so current rebalanced DRX, S tier, reworked, F tier. He's so easy to flinch chain that he doesn't really get to do anything in current balance pass. But if you touch him up and you make him actually threatening, oh man, that is a really fun fight. So I can do it. So we can balance. If we do this based on comfy, he's an S. If he does this based on vanilla, he's an F tier. Dio is in B for me. Or Disu. I'll tell you what, I'll balance it based on comfy. I'll put him in S tier, but understand that everything else has to be about comfy now. You understand that? Okay, Disu. You know what? Actually, I think Disu needs a balance pass to be really fun. I think his hitboxes are so bad that from a spectacle standpoint, he's up here, right? He's an S tier, right? From a spectacle standpoint, he's an S tier. But from like fucking a practicality of fighting him standpoint, I think he needs a rework to really be of hitboxes to really be a fun fight. Dorogirosu. What do you think, chat? You agree with that sentiment about Disu? Because I see a lot of potential to be really cool. I think it's a really neat fight. I think his spectacle is pretty intense, but I just don't find him fun to fight. I think he needs a rework. IMO. He just, in my opinion, I think he just needs a rework before he could really be fun. Dorogirosu. Yeah. I think regular Dorogirosu is fun. I think it's kind of interesting. I think it's an interesting challenge. Yeah, with Spike, he could be fun. But there are several weapons that just aren't fun into him. Definitely. You know? Disu? Yeah. Yeah, I could see Disu being fun on Magnet Spike. Lance, I could see it being fun on, I agree. I love Dorogirosu. I think Dorag, I want to put him in, he's better than, I like him more than like Abirogu. Dora punishes laziness. Dora punishes like getting sloppy. He will just shit on you for being sloppy, and I love that about him. But he's also very predictable, very learnable, and very consistent. Valid. Durga Madeira, S tier. Not even a question. Top Mon. Dio is number one. Dure is my favorite monster in the game. As a fight, I think he embodies the dueling that makes Monster Hunter so much fun. And I think he is incredibly cool as a design. I think his theme song is incredible. Phase 1 and 2 are both really good. And his energy is just great. I love Dore Madeira. Arrogant and regular. I think both of them are S tier for me. Z-Dorag is spicy as fuck. I love it. Supremacy Dorag is also really fun. I'm a huge fan of both of them. I love his Resurrect. Diaragua? Here's a controversy. I'm gonna put Diaragua in B tier. That's a spicy take. I want to put Diaragua in B tier. I think the only reason people hate Diaragua is that they farm him constantly. If you didn't have to farm Diaragua, you wouldn't hate him. Tycoon's an S tier, don't worry. Of course Tycoon's an S tier. Z-Tycoon's an amazing fight. Don't worry about it. A lot of the far fewer monsters will end up low than you think. I like most of these. I think Diaragua is only down as far as the other people's list because you have to farm him constantly. But as a fight himself, he's kind of neat. I think he's a good learning monster, and I think he brings a lot of cool shit to the table. Obviously in Tekka or in S tier, obviously. I think he's a good learning monster. I think he serves a pretty critical part of progression. And I think, while he is kind of uninspiring from like how often you have to fight him, I think he's a victim of the MMO nature of the game and less a victim of bad design. You know what I mean? Alright, Hulk, obviously. Well, is that the, what's the Guan mini? Is it the Guan guys? Those are the Guan Drakes. Your hitboxes suck. Get an F tier. Alright. I agree. I think Elzelion is... Okay, here's a hot take. I think regular Elzelion is an S tier mon. I think Musu Elzelion has enough hitbox problems that I want to knock it down to very high A. That being said, this is regular Elzelion. I think Muso is just... There are enough hitbox problems that I want to say he's not perfect, but he is very good. Espinus. Actually, this will surprise people. Let's do all three Espinus up here and I'll let people lose their shit at it as a group here. I'm gonna say White Espinos is genuinely one of my favorite fights in the game. I think he's incredibly cool. I love his moveset. I love his mechanic. It's simple but effective. I think his zone control is really interesting, that it isn't immediate. You have to let him get away with it. And if you punish the zone control, he is super punishable, but incredibly cool to punish. It's not like, oh, you just get punished and he dies. You get a knockdown, and that is one of the few hard knockdowns in the game. I gotta give White Espinos a lot of credit. Orange Espinos teaches the player, don't fucking be there. And I think it's really cool. I love his durability. I love his weapons. I love his armor design. I think he's really interesting as far as a balance point. But I don't think regular Espinos stands up to either of the variants. I think that white and orange is way cooler, and Espinos walked so they could run, so I gotta give him credit for that. But I think he just falls short compared to the really cool fights that are White Espinos and Orange Espinos. I'm a really big fan. Personally. Thoughts, chat, opinions? No one's losing a shit at that? Nope. Alright. Fair. Furunoku. Bottom of F tier. I hate this fucking bird. I hate this fucking bird. Purely because his combo never ends if you don't stun him, and it becomes impossible to... He's not hard. But if you don't get the flinch, he just keeps doing AoEs, and it doesn't... There is no way to stop him. There's very little in the way of openings. He's super zoomy. He's just obnoxious. I'm not a fan. However, in my opinion, the Evo of this little shit here is a fantastic fight. IMO. Yeah, Tycoon's getting a lot of recognition, don't worry. I have a lot to say about Tycoon. I think Furoku is one of the coolest bird wyverns in the series. I think he's got a really cool moveset. I think his mechanic is really interesting, that the flower fields fuel him. I'm gonna put these Rabby up here, actually. If I see any more Rabby, I'll do it while I'm talking. I love the way that he interacts with like the environment, and I love the way he actually uses his environment to his advantage. It's really cool environmental storytelling as far as the fight goes, and I think he's one of the more interesting examples of how to actually apply a monster to his zone, and I gotta give him massive credit for that. But I do think he suffers from one instantaneously activated hitbox, and that really hurts him, and I really think that's one of the weakest points about his fight, is that he has an instantaneously activated spin attack that is incredibly difficult to avoid, and can just come out of nowhere. That does hold him back a little bit, in my opinion. Here's a spicy take. Garuba Diora. I'm going to put Garuba Diora in B tier. I think he's solid, uninspiring. I think his one-shot can be a little bit bullshit until you have extreme sprinting, but once you have extreme, getting caught by his AoE is more than likely your fault. Mega Dash juices do kind of gut his major mechanic of Crystal Blight, so he is counterable, and on Dual Blades in particular, he is pretty easy to one-combo, and staying glued to him can be really fun and really rewarding. I have to give him a lot of credit for that. So B tier. His theme is incredible, yeah, for sure. Gusada. This one surprises me. I want to put him in high A tier. I really like Gusada. I like his. I really like him as like a bruiser. I don't normally like poison monsters all that much, but like I really like his. Especially once he has some bulk and his damage is tuned down to reasonable levels. I really like Gusada as a monster. I think he's really interesting as a check to players that get too aggressive, and I think he's a really great way of teaching players that you can't just commit to your combo. You have to be aware of your surroundings, or else he's just going to get you caught. And I gotta give him credit for that as like a check to new players. So, points for that. Abirugu. You're better than Girugu. You're better than Abirugu, but not much. Also, I definitely put this guy here. He's B tier. He's solid but uninspiring. I think Girugu suffers from some bad hitboxes and also just being, his whole thing is he hits hard. And that's literally it. His moveset's pretty uninteresting. His mechanics are simple. He's just a guy. Gogamoa. I don't want to do this to you, man. I don't want to. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, y'all. He deserves so much better than this. I think Gogamoa suffers from his mechanics so much that you can't really fight him. Which is a shame because the rest of his fight is really cool. But he's just locked out from participating in any meaningful way in a fight because he's so fucking fragile. And I don't know how to fix that because when he loses his child, he becomes not even a glass cannon, he's made of glass, and you just can't actually interact with the fight in a meaningful way. He just dies to anything approaching a competent hunter. And it's a shame because he's a really cool design, a really cool idea, and I think he suffers from just bad stats. It's really a shame. Guanzaromu. I think he belongs with Ruba. He's fine. It's a dragon. It's a cool fight. Set piece is great. Music is great. Weapons are great. Uninspiring and just kind of there as the fight goes. I think his G-rank form is far more interesting, but again, any high mobility weapon, Magnet Spike, Switch Axe, Tonfas, just dumpster him. and just he can't get out from underneath the damage, and he just ends up being burst down, and that's it. So same problem as Deora. Alright, then I'm kind of pissing people off. What a spicy take. Water Gravios. Near the top of S tier. Almost higher than Elzelion. That'll get his attention. I think the Water Gravios is one of the best fights in the game. I think Water Gravios teaches players about how not to position. I think he is a great example of a completely different use of a skeleton. And I think if you learn his patterns, he can become a really fun parry game of constantly back and forth, ebb and flow. Huge points to him. I think Elzelion does what he does better, but I think that Water Gravios is one of the coolest examples of a origin species that I really like. Oh, you're gonna hate what I have to say about Gravios. Ruko Deora? Ruko Deora, where's Ruko? Where's Ruko? Where is he? Where is he? Hang on, where is he? Let's Zenith Ruko. Alright. Where's regular Ruko? There you are. Oh, but we'll do Zenith later. There's Ruko. High S tier. I think Ruko Deora suffers from a lack of HP. Same with Rebi. However, banger theme. Banger themes. Incredible pieces of music. The use of steel drums is something I don't see in games a lot, and I have to get massive points for that. I think their fights are interesting. I think the early fights of them, especially low and high rank, really do a lot to teach the players that this game is not about Elder Dragons. The game is about every monster being frightening, and you have to respect that. Ruko teaches the players about para differences. I think he's one of the coolest fights in HR2, and I think his G-rank fight is genuinely intense and difficult for where he is in the game. And because he's pretty early game, I don't mind him being weaker, especially after the rebalance of Comfy, because he's not supposed to be a full-blown, like, Teostra or Yamakurai or whatever. He's just a fun fight, and I give him a lot of points for that. So, S tier for Ruko and Rebi. I'm a big fan. I'm also, the monkeys heal you and are literally fucking adorable. S tier. I don't need to explain that or defend that. They heal you and are adorable. Fight me. Gurren. I gotta give Gurren some credit. High A tier. Middle of A tier, I should say. Gurren is a cool check IMO. I do wish that in G rank he was exposed to you when you're ready for him. But I think he's a really cool example of another fight that if you learn to manage him and you learn to handle his patterns, he will teach the player to not fucking be there. And that's really cool. I like him a lot. It's also Shark Dragon. Like, I come on. I'm literally... One of my partners is literally... goes by, like, Mako Shark. I have to give the shark massive credit. Contractually obligated, and also he's cool. Harudo. No, user would be an A. I put Harudo in the bottom of A. I think GHC Harudo is a little bit bullshit. Sometimes that bowling ball can just kill an entire road lobby. However, it is dodgeable, it is avoidable. So, like, it also has a big telegraph, so, like, if you get hit by it, it's pretty much on you. It's a fight I don't vibe with, but it's a cool fight, and his design is really cool. So, I gotta give Haruto some serious credit. Hypnocatrice, same thing as regular Hypnocatrice, just less interesting, so maybe even down in D tier. Let's put all of the sleep birds out. Fucking Z Hypnoc over here. Did I get all the birds? Oh, that's right, Hypnoc. White at least has some more mechanics to him. That's all the birds. That's all the birds. Okay, cool. All the sleep birds, aside from Z Hypnoc. We'll talk about Zeniths together as a whole group. Hyujiki. Not to make people mad with this one. I think Hyujiki would be a lot more interesting if he wasn't. No, Z Hyujiki is a whole. I think Hyujiki is cool. I think his design is cool. I think his moveset's kind of interesting. My issue with Hyujiki is that he stacks status effects. I can't put him in F tier because he does have a really cool moveset and gimmick, but stacking statuses knocks him down from like otherwise A tier down to D tier. His status stacking is just not fun. Regular Inagami. Here's a hot take for you. Yeah, I agree. The status effects are just brutal. Regular Inagami, however, I'm putting in A tier. Yes, sleep is annoying. He will be the highest rated sleep monster, no doubt. But the rest of his fight is so cool. His theme is a banger. He has really cool interactions with other monsters. His power break mechanic is really cool. I like the way it interacts with everything about him. Genuinely. I think Inagami, regular Inagami, is slept on as a really cool monster that I genuinely really enjoy fighting. Despite sleep. And also, it's not Z-sleep. So getting immunity to it is not hard. And if you do so, trust me, that fight's way cooler. Massive credit to Inagami as a monster. I really like him, especially with sleep immunity. It's a really fun fight. Also, his part breaks are so sick. Autogerons. Let's find another one. There's no. Where's no? Where is other Autogeron? Or are they just the one monster in the list? I don't see it. Okay. He's fine. It's a dog. It's a Garen. It's fine. It does it's sure is a monster. It's uninspiring. But the fact it's ice element and it has early access to ice is pretty cool, so I gotta give it credit for that. There they are. These two are just solid but uninspiring. They're just kind of there. I think Mido executes on their concept much better as a fight. Kyo. I think Kyo's cool. If Kyo had some HP behind him and some actual like hit zones, I think he would be incredible as a fight. But right now, he just dies to anything approaching a decent G5 set, and that holds him back immensely. But I think he's a really fucking cool fight, and I really like his set piece. His theme song is incredible, and I think he's held back by his stats, not his moveset, in my opinion. I'm about to piss him. How to make gamers angry in one easy step. How to make gamers angry in one easy step. I'm about to put the only Leviathan in this list in S tier. Well, isn't Rappy a Leviathan, or is he an Elder Dragon, or is he an Elder Leviathan? I don't know. Fact check me. I don't actually know the answer to the question. I'm about to make some people fucking angry. If you die to this monster, it's on you. Genuinely. He hits a little too hard, in my opinion. But I think he's a great lesson in zone control and watching where your feet are. Don't worry, I'm about to make some people really mad with the next pick. Don't you worry. You thought that was a spicy take. Oh, we going spicy from here. The Velocioth is fine. It's a fish. It's fine. It's uninteresting. But it's not particularly offensive. It just is a fish. Its only thing that I would give it massive discredit for, which is the reason it's not ahead of Akura, is that it is capable of swimming away for large periods of time. It was wasting lots of time. However, it's a sack of hit points. It is what it is. And Red Volganos is going higher in C tier. Because Red Volganos at least has some moves, and his whole G rank version where he swims out and he slams into the arena and causes the massive explosion is really satisfying to parry. It is. You know what? Fuck it. It's in B tier. He's kind of fun in G rank. I kind of like him. He's too tanky and he hits too hard. I'll concede those problems with him. But he has some genuinely cool moves. I'm sorry. The fish is not as bad as people make it out to be. Is he a good fight? He's fine. And some of his moves are genuinely really cool. Fight me. Told you I was gonna make some people mad. Let's put both Gogarfs up at the same time, shall we? Gogarfs belong in A tier, in my opinion. They're really fucking cool design. Their moveset's really interesting. I think their stats are out of line. I think that they're a little too fragile in base patch, and I think that their damage is a little too high. But they're just fucking cool. I'm a fan. I don't have any other reason aside from they're really cool. They're one of the few monkey monsters I genuinely like. Aside from like Furious Rajang, right? But as far as Frontier exclusives, yeah, they're cool. I'm a big fan. Another monster about to threaten Elzalian's crown, but not quite take it. Bereganasu. I love fights that reward hyper-aggression. I love fights that reward confident play, and fights that reward players that know what the fuck they're doing. And Maraganasu is one of those monsters. You keep on top of him, you keep on top of his damage, you'll lock him down, he becomes a durable but fun fight. If you don't, he'll run a train on your team, and it's really cool to see a monster that's capable of being both CC chained, but also not stun locked for the entire fight. Unlike Dio. So, Maraganasu, I'm a big fan. I love this fight. It's really good. Mido Garen. I think Mido Garen is one of the few examples of a base monster being a strictly worse fight, in my opinion, than Zenith. But Mido is great. Teleportation mechanic is interesting. If you know what you're doing, you can handle it pretty easily. But it does catch new players off guard in a really entertaining way, and I gotta give him credit. So, A tier for Mido Garen. Great fight. Miru! This also makes people mad. I think Miru is fucking sick. Yeah, Mido belongs in A tier. The only reason I'm not putting him in S tier is that Z Mido exists, and that fight is incredible. So, Z Mido is only let down by having a Zenith. Miru, I really like Miru. He's fun. Man. Yeah, Mido is again. Mido could be up here, right? But he has a Zenith, and I have to give room to put one of my favorite Zeniths up here. So, Mido's real good. Obi, it's fine. It's cool. Obi has a Z tier theme. Has a Z tier theme. Fucking incredible. But his fights just hit the turtle. Right? It's fine. It is what it is. Paria. F tier. This monster, its supremacy, its base form, they all fucking suck. They're fucking tanky. They hit obscenely hard. They are needlessly too mobile for no fucking reason. They have no downtime. They have no openings. And its supremacy is one of the most annoying fights I have ever encountered in my entire time playing video games. I hate this monster. It is... I don't know how you fix him without reworking the way he applies stun and his downtime between dashes. I don't like Paria at all. Poba. I think Poba's really cool. I think Poba needs some work, but I think it's really cool. It's a hunting horn lizard. Obviously, the shields go up in S tier, where they belong. All right, we're getting to some big boys now. We're getting to the. Let's go ahead and pull. We're gonna rapid fire a couple of these. Chantian. High S tier. Tycoon. High S tier. Obviously, those are non-controversial, right? We all agree. Shantian's an incredible set piece. Tycoon's just a really fucking good fight. And his Zenith is even better. Toa. C tier. I'm sorry. He's fine. On parry-based weapons, he's gonna be a lot of fun. It's really, really interactive battle to getting slamming parry after parry after parry. Sure, that's really cool, and I appreciate him for that. However, Toa is just too tanky, too much AoE, and just fucking boring. Visually, he's incredible. But I do not jive with his fight, and I oftentimes regret having to fight him more than I enjoy fighting him. But into a parry-centric weapon, he can be a ton of fun, and I really do give him credit for that. But if you're trying to play something that's based on evasion, he can be rough. He's also incredibly AoE spammy, and that's really frustrating. He can be fun. I do agree he's better than Teostra. I do agree completely. Torrid. It's a fun bird. Torrid's just fun. I don't know. I guess I can move Toa up for the parries. I can give it more credit for the parries. I can do that. It's certainly better than Torrid. And I do enjoy fighting it more than I like fighting these guys. So yeah, B is fine. Torrid is fun. It's a bird. Laser bird. It's cool. Z Torrid, however, is going to get interesting. Unknown. I'm going to be rating... So, Shiten monsters I have to rate based on their Shiten forms. Upper Shiten Unknown is a great fight. It's super fun. It's got cool mechanics. It's a little one-shot heavy, but whatever. I genuinely love that fight. It's incredible. I'm a huge fan. Huge, huge fan. Verusa belongs at the Roselle Zellion, in my opinion. Verusa, his cactus mechanic is super cute. I like that a lot, but it's easy to avoid if you know what you're doing. And Verusa has produced some of the most intense, heart-pounding moments by having enough damage to be frightening, but not enough damage to just be one-shot city. I give him a ton of credit. Super fun fight. I'm a big fan. Huge love for Verusa. Also, his SNS is sick. Also, hello, Rocket Diablos. Do I have to defend myself? I don't think I do. Boltang, F tier. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. This belongs in C tier. Boltang's fine. Into high evasion weapons, he can be fun. Into high parry weapons, he can be fun. But, like, again, he's held back by just so much damage is focused into his kit that it becomes a very difficult snowball if you get caught once. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. And he just doesn't do anything besides punch, spin, that's it. His moveset's so limited that I don't think that they did him justice for his concept, and I have to knock him down big points because he just isn't as interesting as his design would imply he is. He's just a punch monkey. Okay, but we already had Rajang. All you do is retexture Rajang and give him some fire effects and call it a day. And it's not particularly interesting on that front, so I can't put him higher than C tier. He needs some love to really shine as a monster. Yamakura, F tier. I'm not... Do I need to explain why this monster sucks? I shouldn't need to. Yamakurai is an insult to Blade Masters. And as a gunner, he's not that much fun either. I just think that both him and his variant could have done more with what they have, and I feel like with a rework, they could be very fun, but right now, they're just bullet sponges that don't do anything aside from spam a one-shot, and it's just like, eh? Zenosu. I was gonna put this water-bending fuck lower on the tier, okay? But I fought him a lot recently, and he's growing on me. Yeah, I gotta give him some serious credit. Now that I know his moveset, I enjoy him quite a lot, so credit to him. I gotta give him, you know, A tier. Once you learn his moveset, he can be a lot of fun. He's very fragile, which is kind of cool. And he's a very much a good glass cannon. If you know his moveset, he's super easy to punish and stay safe without having to worry about doing evasion. But if you don't know his moveset, he will just start feeling really cheap, and so I can't put him in S tier. But he's a really fun fight when you know what you're doing. Okay. Pacarodon and then Zenith. I gotta if he's a sea lion, and therefore bonus points for being an adorable little critter. But it's an uninspiring fight, and it's just kind of fine. It's a good fight. Oh boy, Zeniths. Time to make people really mad. Actually, no one's gotten really too upset just yet, so we'll go from there. Z Akura. I think he belongs in D tier. But my beef with Z Akura is not Crystal Blight. The reason I put him down in D tier and not in like B or A is his tail break is bullshit. I like it thematically. I love the idea of having to do a multi-sequence break. But even with the buffs, getting that buff, that tail, is so fucking hard. Mega Dash Juice literally counters this entire gimmick. Again, Crystal Blight is the stamina reduction is nullified by Mega Dash Juice. You still get the crystal itself, but you don't get the stamina reduction, which helps a lot. I don't think he's as bad as he seems, but he definitely needs to have his tail fixed for me to put him anywhere but C or B. His moveset is interesting, though. I like his moveset. It's just the tail makes him such a pain to farm, I can't put him any higher. Zenith Nora is fun. I think Xehanora is really interesting in that he is another one of those high-intensity adrenaline-pumping fights that is punished by good parries and positioning. I think he's really cool. I like him a lot. He isn't, but he's not cool enough for me to go farm him. He's not cool enough for me to go and dig into him and really sink his teeth into him. He's just a cool fight that's kind of hard, you know? Z Baruguru is in the same space for me. Water resistance nullifies his entire gimmick completely. And he's just a tankier and more powerful Baruguru. And I think he doesn't stand out as much as Baruguru because he's just Baruguru but more. And I think that hurts him enough that I don't want to put him higher than I want to put Baruguru. Because he's just not as put together, and it's so easy to deny his entire mechanic, in my opinion. Ziblangunga, F tier. This fight blows. I think Ziblangunga is one of the worst Zeniths in the game. I think he is a great example of why monkey frames don't work, why CC blights similar to Akura's are are really annoying. The difference is you can't really nullify the CC like you can Akura. A Mega Dash use and Ice Res does prevent the Blight, but you still get snowballed. And his moveset is better suited to punishing a snowball than Akura's is the Crystal Blight. And that really hurts him, and I can't put him any higher than an F tier. I'm sorry, he needs rework before he's fun to fight. Daimyo. Now we're getting spicy. Daimyo is really... I love Daimyo. Zenith Daimyo, as long as you have 55 water res, his mechanic is just that he hits hard, he's fast moving, and he's a fun adrenaline-filled fight. I gotta give massive credit to him as the first Zenith that's really high into S tier. I love Z Daimyo. It's a really cool fight, and I think it does a really good job of transforming Hermitar from Hermitar into a more interesting monster with a totally different moveset that follows similar themes, but is way more complicated than his original design would otherwise indicate. So I got to give him massive credit for that. Zenith Dorgirosu. Another high tier for me. I love this fight. I think the Dorag line is incredibly interesting. I love the Resurrection passive. Same reason I'm a big fan of Black Flame Fatalis. I think it's really cool that he can just pick himself back up after death. And also, I just like those frames. I play pretty well into them. They're a good matchup for me, and I tend to really like them a lot. Time to make Dots angry. I'm sorry, Dots. You know I love you. But this has to be done. I'm sorry, friend. Zeaspinus belongs in C tier. I'm sorry. I think Zenith Poison is a step too far in terms of bullshit, in my opinion. I think Z Poison and Z Venom are just one step too far down the line of a punishment on top of a punishment. Getting hit is the punishment. If it was regular poison, I wouldn't mind. But Z4 poison is a death sentence. And while Z2 poison is manageable, with Vampire, anything past that, it's anti-venom or burn multiple massive resources while the monster is charging around. It's not a challenge. It's a death sentence. And I find that very distasteful in a game where being hit is already massively punishing. You're punishing the player for being punished. And that is a design problem, in my opinion. I have a fundamental issue with Espinus. That being said, his moveset's pretty cool, and his design is incredible. His weapons are great, and I like that part of it. But I'm not a fan of Espinus. I feel like he just punishes the player beyond the initial punishment too much. Z Gosura. Z Gosura, I gotta put in B tier. When he's in his enraged form, I really enjoy fighting him. The lack of poison means you're able to, like, fight a big honking bruiser. His one-shot's a little lame that it comes out pretty much instantaneously, and there's very little wind-up for it, and he can just decide to do it in the middle of his combo, which is a little annoying. But overall, Z Gosura, I gotta give a lot of credit for being an interesting fight and having some really cool weapons that are really fun to use. But, again, poison, right? In a Zenith tier fight is just really frustrating. I put Z Abby in the same place as Gosura for the same sort of reasoning, that he's just a brute, and that's really cool. But I think his mechanics were interesting, so I gotta give him a little credit there. His mechanic is more interesting, so I do give him that. But Z Ice Blight was a mistake. That's all I'm saying. Zenith Gravios. High A tier. I'm a fan. I think Z Gravios teaches a lot of cool lessons. And I genuinely enjoy fighting him. I'll fight him on my own time for kicks. I think he's way better than he's given credit for. I don't think he's an S tier, though, because the statuses he can distribute can be a little annoying. And he is a little too tanky, but it's fine. I do think, however, Z Haruto belongs up in high A tier. Not having the bowling ball nearly as much is really cool. I think Z Haruto is a cool example of a genuinely raw damage, blow for blow, death knell fight, and I think it's really cool that he's just a monster. He doesn't get into S tier in my opinion because he's a little too agile and he likes to play keep away a bit too much, but I'm a big fan. We're about to piss people off. Yeah, we're about to really piss people off. Z Hypnocatrice, I think is better than Z Espinus, even though it's Sleep Monster. And the reason I say that is that Hypnocatrice has counterplay. You can be woken up by a kick at a party member not getting caught. He at least telegraphs sleep attacks pretty well. And there are ways to play around it. If Z Hypnoc gets pinned, or takes a flinch, or anything along those lines, he no longer has control of the fight, and you can save a party member with Dust of Life, or an Ascension, or there are a number of ways to counteract the problems he creates. And because he's not charging around the room the entire time, you have an opening to do so. Therefore, I think it's better than Espinus. Oh, okay. Zyojiki, however, yeah, he's low D tier. He's not quite F tier, though I think his moveset's still interesting, but, status stacking is not fun, and yeah, it's not fun. Zenigami, same reason as Yujiki. I think he just sleeps too much. There's no reason to, like, I don't know. He can be fun as a fight if you don't have to worry about sleep, but again, Z1, especially with Hulkpot going, can literally be 3 or 4 minutes being on the ground, unable to act, and being just chain CC'd. So, yeah, it's serious work. Zikazu. The Great Dick goes in A tier. I think Zikazu is actually a pretty fun fight once you get past his one shot. And I've had a lot of really hilarious moments. Sorry. Yeah, he's a fun fight once you get past the bullshit. And Thunder Res is easy to come by, and I've had a lot of hilarious moments where he just won't get off the ceiling for like literally 5 minutes. That's really funny. So I give him some credit. I think he's kind of fun. I think he suffers from one move syndrome. Maybe I'll put him lower, actually. Yeah. No, maybe he's not as good as the Rogu. Zenith Mido Garen belongs up with the big boys up in S tier. This is a fucking fantastic fight. Z Mido fucking slaps. It hits hard, he's fast, he's frantic, he has a discernible pattern, and when you learn his mechanics and you apply yourself, it is a very rewarding and intense experience. Z Mido, S tier, once you learn him. Z Plessy, same thing. I know, the bubbles are one-shots in Z4. I get it. which is why he's not higher than Might of Garen. But everything else about this fight is well orchestrated, well put together. I think Z Water Blight's unfortunate, but it isn't crippling. I'm a huge fan. I think he's an interesting monster and a cool example of a fight done really well. Same thing with Z Rathalos. I also am a huge fan of Z Ratha. It's a great learning Zenith. Rathalos is a great monster to cut your teeth on and really get to learn the game and the mechanics, and I gotta give him a lot of credit for that. But out of this top tier, it keeps getting stacked with more and more members. Z Tycoon is the best Zenith in the game. That's not an argument. I just think he's incredible as a monster. Z Tycoon is a genuine fucking boss fight. He feels scary, he feels powerful, he feels durable, he feels learnable, and he feels like he has a lot of cool mechanics to teach the player you don't see in anywhere else to that degree. No. ZSP belongs down where he is. I already explained why. No, I already explained why. I already told you that it's the punishing the punishment thing that knocks him down. Like, if he had regular poison, yeah, Dut's not gonna be happy that I put it down C tier, but I'll defend myself. I don't mind. If he had regular poison, he'd be up here. He'd be up here batting an unknown and Shantian. But like, because it's Z poison, it belongs down here. Z Tycoon's amazing. Z Tigrex is... It sure is a Zenith. It's fun. I like Z Tigrex. It's a good fight. But it's just a Tigrex? Right? It's Tigrex and more. I think the bleed definitely puts him down for 2, but also it is still a fun fight. There's so much else going for the fight that I have to give him credit for that I can't put him in A tier, but I can say he's pretty solid. Yeah, I think it belongs here by D-Roga, actually. Low B tier. I don't think he's high B tier. He's low B tier. IMO. Z Torrid. This fight fucking slaps, dude. He has one problem, and that is his laser beam. That is it. The rest of this fight, when you learn it, super fun. Big fan. I'm gonna make a controversial opinion here. I think Z Ruko is a ton of fun if you have the 55 Dragon Res. I think he's one of the few Zeniths that has a really steep learning curve, and I think that his Blight is particularly savage. But if you have the Dragon Res, I think he'd be pretty fun. I'm a fan. Musu Zerusu, or any Zeru line. It's just good. It's a fun fight. There you go. It's fun as hell, dude. Musu Zeru is so good. See? Okay. Let's... Alright, cool. Let's look this over from the top. Duria Madeira. It is my favorite fight in the game. But also, in general, I just love it as a game design piece. Elzelion. Similar level of fun. I really like it. Tycoon. Z Tycoon. Fantastic. Verusa, Mido, Z Plessis. Z Plessis is what I expected more pushback on. I love Z Plesioth, and I don't know why. I hate regular Plesioth, but Z Plessis is a ton of fun. I might move. Actually, I'm move. Musu Zeru, incredible. Z Ratha, also a ton of fun. What's wrong with me? Z Plessis is so free though. Bring 55 water residue. Literally, you can just dance around him. I enjoy Z Plessis. That's why this is my tier list. Z Ratha, I think is the best learning Zenith. I think he's really good at teaching people how to actually play the game. And it's the first Zenith I'm going to point people to and say, get 55 fire res, go fight Z Ratha, you will learn. Also, the Z hip check is so good. It's easy to dodge, right? And also, it leans into the meme so hard, I have to love it. It's like they knew exactly what they were doing. They leaned into the meme, and it's full send, and I have to give them a tip my hat for that, okay? Water Gravios, I think, is a really interesting rebuild of the creature. I like it a lot. Baraganasu, great monster. Oh, if Water Gravios is a skill issue. Curl issue. Ruko, Rebby, both also fantastic monsters. I'm sorry, Genki, I had to, man. You know I love you. Z Daimyo. It's fucking amazing. It's a great fight. Tycoon, regular Tycoon Samaza, another big banger. Shantian, Shitan Unknown. You did good. Your Roselia is way cleaner than mine, to be fair. The Leviathans. If you get caught by this, it's on you. Dio. I think Dio, the buffs from Comfy Patch did a lot to make Dio way more fun. Whitest Venus is a sleeper pick. I like his mechanics, like his fight. I think it's really cool. Midu is really fun. Z-Torrid. It's just cool. Just a fun fight. The only move I don't like from Torrid is his beam. The local endemic wildlife, of course, being adorable. We had to put them next tier. Come on, we had to. Z-Ruko. Yeah, I agree. I think it'd be cool. And then some Zeniths. A big string of Zeniths. These are all really fun fights. Orange Venus is slept on. I think Mido Garen, super fun. Gustada. Gogarfs. Garen. Inagami is slept on. This whole A tier is entirely monsters. I see people flaming all the time, and I'm like, these are actually really fun. Let's look at the controversial bottom tier takes. Twin Fish. This fight sucks. Zibunguga. Terrible. Furoku. Terrible. Pure. Kura. Yama. Terrible. Ziakura. Needs rework, and that could be fine. Z Inagami. Z Sleep. Just unlock City. It's not fun. Hypnoc. Gogamoa needs a buff. Disu. You know what? Fuck it. Fuck it. One less parting shot at Disu. Yeah, I agree completely. I agree. 100%. Alright, cool. I'm going to highlight this whole segment. We're going to put it up as a YouTube video. I'll link it in, when we get that done. And go from there. Cool. Alright, everybody. That's going to be it for me. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. It's been a ton of fun. Yeah, thanks for coming to times, everybody. I'll see y'all later. I can't wait for her to get the 5 days off, dude. I'll tell you more in Discord, so we'll see y'all on Discord. Yeah.